Supabase is basically a backend service built on top of PostgreSQL. It gives you an easy way to manage your database, authentication, and even storage. Think of it like an open source alternative to Firebase. In this video, we're going to use Python with Supabase. The plan is simple. We'll create a Supabase project, grab the API key and the URL, then create a table and insert some data. After that, we'll connect to Supabase with Python and query the data. Step by step, we'll see how to build our own backend with Python and Supabase. First, let's log into Supabase. After logging in, we'll create a new project. You just need to give it a name, set a password, and choose a region. Don't worry too much about the region at this stage, it doesn't matter for now. Then, simply click on Create New Project, and Supabase will set everything up for us. Once the project is ready, scroll down on the page. You'll find two important things, the project URL and the API key. These are what we'll use to connect our Python project with Supabase. Next, let's create a table. Go to the database section and make a new table called users. If you scroll down, you'll see the columns. I'm not changing anything here. I'll just go ahead and create the table. Now let's insert a record. I'll add some sample data, including a random date. To check it, I'll open the SQL editor and run a simple select command on the table. And perfect. The record I just inserted shows up in the output. Now let's switch over to Python. We'll start by creating a new Python project. Inside that project, create a file called env. This is where we'll store the URL and the API key we copied from Supabase earlier. To connect Python with Supabase, we need a couple of libraries. We'll install python.env and the official Supabase client for Python. Once those are ready, we'll write some simple code to connect to our project, load the environment variables, and query the users table. First, we need to import the necessary libraries. We're bringing in the Supabase client, the .env package to load environment variables, and the built-in OS module to access those variables. Next, we call load.env so that Python can read the values from our .env file. That's where we saved the Supabase URL and the API key earlier. Then, we fetch those values with os.getEnv and store them in variables called URL and key. After that, we use createClient to actually connect to our Supabase project. At this point, Python is linked with the Supabase backend. Finally, inside a try-except block, we make a simple query. Select everything from the users table. If it works, we print the data to the console. If something goes wrong, we print the error instead. So this short piece of code is all we need to connect Python with Supabase and start querying our data. Let's run the script. Interesting. It looks like the table is empty, but we know there's already data in there. What's happening? Well, in Supabase, to actually see the data through the API, you need to define a policy. So let's create one. We'll make a policy called allow select for all. This policy applies to our users table, and it simply says whenever someone tries to select data from this table, allow it. In other words, it's giving permission to read data. Now that the policy is in place, let's run the Python script again. And there it is. The record we inserted earlier is now visible in Python. That's awesome. We just created a Supabase project, built a database table, inserted data, queried it from Python, and even learned how policies work. If you enjoyed this tutorial and want to keep learning how to use Python with powerful tools like Supabase, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment about what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.